I finished my reading goal for the year, now at 101 books for 2024. Incredible. I'm so happy. I knew I could do it and I did it. So for 2024, I'm currently at 93 books completed, and I surpassed my goal for the total number of books I wanted to read this year. So my goal was 28. Obviously I read 93, so I like far passed it by a lot. We still have like 2.5 weeks till end of the year. I kind of want to make it an even 100. So I'm at 93. I want to make it to 100. I have lots of books as options. I don't know why I do these things, why I do this to myself. I feel like I work really well under pressure. I work better when I'm not under pressure, obviously, and I just feel like for once in my life, I kind of want to just read 100 books a year, because I don't know if I'll be able to do it next year, because it's not my goal for next year. My goals are a little different for next year. I also had a goal this year to read 28 nonfiction books, and currently I'm at 26. So in 2 weeks I have to read at least 2 more nonfiction books to reach that goal. So that's a separate goal. But I think I can read 2 nonfiction books, and then also I think I can read like 6 books in 2.5 weeks. And also there's like a lot of books I'm in the middle of right now. Currently I'm reading Kiki Palmer's Master of Me. It's so good. Like, I'm taking so many highlights. I'm at like 35%, and I feel like I'm taking it extra slower than normal memoirs because there is a lot of material on here. She's talking a lot of sense. Like, I'll definitely continue with that because I want to finish it before New Year's. Second book I'm currently reading is Peace in Every Step. I have this book on my Kindle. It's pretty straight to the point. It's also, again, taking a little bit of time because the material is a little bit dry, but the material is really useful, so I am taking notes and highlights. And I always take notes when it's nonfiction most of the time, because if I'm reading nonfiction, I'm reading it to get something out of it, right? So I can gain like a particular knowledge in a particular subject or whatever it is that I need in that moment. So I like to take notes and then come back to it later. I've spoke about this in previous videos, but it's just like one of my favorite hobbies ever. Overall, I just like elevating my life to new levels and just being, you know, better than I was yesterday. One thing I will always do is do better. My mission, my whole mission going forward in my life is to be a better person, be kinder, be more gentle, and I think that comes off with getting peace of mind, peace in my mind. So I'm reading this book, Peace is Every Breath. I think overall I just need love for myself. Like, I need stability, because no one else can provide you stability if you don't have it within yourself. The third book I'm reading is The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I'm at 41% of that book, and it is very, very straight to the point. A lot of it feels like very obvious, very, you know, like you've heard this a million times before kind of information. Nice because it's put in such a systematic way. It's put in, you know, like a way that my brain is able to understand it. Just reading it every single day, it's putting me in a creative space. I finished Master of Me by Kiki Palmer yesterday, so I'm officially at 94 books for the year. It was really, really good. Let me show you some of the highlights. So these are all the highlights I made. And I made a lot of highlights. Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember this last one right here. Make you, your career, master yourself. The freedom of choice is what makes any of us feel like we have purpose. And choice is often taken in the workplace and in our family units. Still, I found liberation in mine. I really like that quote. They will try to tell you who you are, but the secret is you don't let other people tell you who you are. You tell them who you are. This is why my parents emphasize the importance of community to me, because it's all we have in our lonely existence. All we have in our mass is each other. Identifying the things you do care about is important, but it's also equally important to create a list of things you don't care about, what you aren't willing to do. If you know what feels good to you and you believe in yourself, there's a whole world of possibilities that can and will open up around you. Whether you have the faith that I have, or you're growing your faith, or you're not necessarily spiritual at all, there is at least one thing we all feel and care about. There's something important about destiny, speaking things into existence by living in action of what you are trying to do, about doing the work even when no one is watching or giving you your flowers. So there's just a lot, and I want to go over almost like all of them, especially for my reading journal.
And then here at like 5%, our minds do this interesting thing where even as we grow, our ideas of certain things will stay the same unless we look back and force our current perspective to observe the past in hindsight. I think that's really important. That's key to change. Don't be afraid to bring all your talents to the table because the only thing too much is the limitations we place on ourselves. So those are some of the quotes that I really enjoyed, and there's like many more, and I always share them on my Goodreads. So as I said before, I'm currently at 94 books for the year, and I still want to read 6 more books to hit my 100 book reading challenge. I finished reading Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. It's book number 5 yesterday, and currently I'm at 95 books, 5 more to go. Order of the Phoenix, I feel like the book was a lot better than the movies. The movies could have done a lot better. I don't like Deathly Hallows Part 1, the movie, so much, so I'm not looking forward to the book, but I'm looking forward to Half-Blood Prince. That one's really funny. I like that because you see more of the academic side of Hogwarts. And in Deathly Hallows Part 1, the 3 of them, mostly Harry and Hermione, and sometimes even Ron, they just spend most of the time like in the wilderness, like living off the land, trying to find those things to kill Voldemort, basically. But yeah, I don't remember liking Part 1. Part 2, I remember liking a lot because it like completes the story and so much happens. But I liked the book, Order of the Phoenix, a lot, so no complaints there. I did see some differences between the movie and the book. So far, I'm at 95 books for the year, less than 2 weeks to go, so I have 5 more books to read to reach the 100 book goal in less than 2 weeks, mostly because I just want to end the year with a bang. And then in the new year, I'm slowing down my reading a lot. Like, I'm being more mindful with what type of books I want to read. I say that now because I said that earlier this year too, and I'm at 95 books. So I don't know. I want to start Half-Blood Prince soon. Before Half-Blood Prince, I'm gonna read Wayward. Actually, in fact, like, I already started Wayward last night. I keep hearing mixed reviews about Wayward. Like, initially I heard the book is very interesting and the plot moves in a very interesting way, very unique way, kind of like 3 different perspectives of 3 different girls, and that is what's happening right now. And so far, it's really good. I don't really remember what the mixed reviews were, but they were from my friends. I really like a book based on either character depth or setting. It's never the same for every single book. It's always different, and I always find something to fixate on from each book that I really, really like. So far, it's a great book. I'm at 25%. Really gripping. So there's 3 stories, 3 women, and they are definitely unusual things happening around these 3 women. One story is from 1619, and this is a story of Altha Wayward. She is on trial for witchcraft, and a woman named Grace, who is Altha's childhood friend, is currently like testifying against her in trial, and they're no longer friends like right now. Yeah, I mean, like, strange things with Altha and her mother too. Like, I think there's like a crow that's like perched on her mother's shoulder. Altha's mother is not alive anymore as far as I can see. Like, she's on trial, but her mom's not there, so I'm assuming like she's just no more. Altha has connections to spiders and insects, just like the other 2 women I'll be talking about. In 1619, during that time, physicians used to use leeches to kind of like, how do you say this, to kind of treat fevers and illnesses. It sounds unusual to me and sounds barbaric to me. And Altha and her mother are kind of like healers, more on the nature side. They go around town and they start healing people, and of course, like, something happens or someone dies and automatically it's like, witch, you gotta be hanged. Yeah, so that's basically what's happening with Altha. She's on trial for murder. So that's 1619. The next story is 1942. It's a girl named Violet. She's 16 years old. She lives in the countryside, like near London. And she lives with her father, and she lives with her brother Graham and a few house help here and there. But she's fully like she is also, this little girl, Violet, she's also super into insects and nature and trees and birds. She's had a connection with spiders too, just like Altha. Violet's mom passed away when Violet was very young. And apparently, like, Violet looks exactly like her mom. And of course, like, Violet, she is not allowed to be herself. 1942, her dad's kind of like very strict, more on like the conservative side, more on like, you know, whatever. He is like constantly disciplining Violet to be a proper young lady. He doesn't really like allow her to get like, you know, the proper education that she craves. Currently, a new person has been introduced. Frederick, he's serving in the war and he's come to visit the family, and to me he seems very sketchy, so I guess we'll see what happens. That's Violet's story. And then the third story is from 2019 and it's about a woman named Kate. Kate is in a very abusive marriage with a man, and she runs away from home. She inherited a cottage from her great aunt, and her great aunt just happens to be Violet from 1942. I guess Kate and Violet only met once when Kate was young, and she doesn't really remember Violet other than Violet just being like secluded and stuff. So the cottage is very witchy. Books and insects and things like that everywhere. And Kate is a little spooked out, but she's also like interested in learning about who's lived in the house. Also, she just found out she's pregnant. She's pregnant with the abuser's child. So that's Altha from 1619, Violet from 1942, and Kate from 2019, all portraying some kind of witchy characteristics. Kate also has, 2019, Kate, she also has like a weird history with birds and insects, specifically crows, and I think almost all of them have lost someone. Like Kate has lost her dad. Her dad's from the Wayward family, which is Violet and Altha, and Violet has lost her mom, who was a Wayward, and then Altha lost her mom, who was a Wayward. So all three girls lost a parent. Yeah, that's where I am right now. I'm going to continue reading because it is so interesting. And then I'm going to continue reading Perennial Seller by Ryan Holiday. I think I'm at like 21% for that book. Wayward by Emilia Hart. So that's the book. It's got plenty of reviews on Goodreads, and it looks like several of my friends have read it. And this author's written like a couple of other books too, something called The Sirens. I've been like writing down goals I have for the new year, like reading goals I have for the new year, and I've just been writing them down on my notepad. I'm still working on my reading journal right now. That is taking a little bit more of a priority right now, and I think I want to start The Wife by Meg Wolitzer. I think I'm gonna start that tonight too. Friday I have a book club. Saturday I have a brunch, and I'm finally watching Wicked with friends. And then on Sunday there's a holiday party, and then next week is Christmas. So on Christmas Day I probably won't get any reading done. It's gonna be just like spent holly and jolly. There's something else, and then New Year's there's a party. So I'm just trying to use like my free days just to read and catch up. Yeah. Okay. I actually changed my mind. I don't think I'm gonna be reading Perennial Seller today. I'm gonna be reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I'm about 41% of the way done with this book, so I might as well just like finish something, you know, because I'm in the middle of so many books. This one, yeah, 44%. All right, yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna have my AG1, and then I'm gonna have my coffee. I'll continue to read this. And then in a little while, I'll go back to Wayward. Cool. I got to 51% of The Creative Act. And I think I'm going to go make some coffee and maybe just continue to read this because it's really interesting. I'm really liking it. I'm at 59%. I really like this one part. How shall we measure success? It isn't popularity, money, or critical esteem. Success occurs in the privacy of the soul. It comes in the moment you decide to release the work before exposure to a single opinion. When you've done all you can to bring out the world's greatest potential, when you're pleased and ready to let go. Success has nothing to do with variables outside yourself. To move forward is an aspect of success. This happens when we finish a work, share it, and begin a new project. Whatever comes after this quiet feeling of accomplishment is subject to market conditions beyond us. Our calling is to make beautiful works to the best of our ability. Sometimes they will be applauded or rewarded, sometimes not. If we second guess our inner knowing to attempt to predict what others may like, our best work will never appear. So basically, to move forward is an aspect of success. And also, so it comes in the moment you decide to release the work before exposure to a single person. That's success. I just finished the ecstatic part, and I really like this part because I feel like I feel this often. Have you ever felt pulled in, as if in trance, while listening to a piece of music? How about while reading a book or gazing at a painting? This may be one of the reasons you're drawn to creative work to begin with. The memory, the reoccurring experience of sensory joy. It's like biting into a piece of fruit at the peak of its ripeness. This can happen when a sense of harmony and fulfillment suddenly prevails. It arises genuinely in the process of creation. You're working and struggling, and suddenly you notice a shift, a revelation. A small tweak is made, a new angle is revealed, and it takes your breath away. An artist will be in the throes of creation, and the work may seem unremarkable for a while. Suddenly a shift occurs and a moment is revealed, and the piece of work now seems extraordinary. This can happen at any point during a project. You may be moving forward in the neutral zone for some time. You hit a new note and suddenly you feel magnetized. You're engaged. You lean forward and feel a rush of energy like an answered prayer. This epiphany is the heart of creativity. It's something we feel in our whole body. It causes us to snap to attention and quicken our heartbeat or to laugh in surprise. It gives us a glimpse of a higher ideal, opening new possibilities in us that we didn't know were there. It is so invigorating that it makes all of the laborious, less interesting parts of the work worth doing. That is like the click that happens when you're working on something creative and you feel this joy, this like innocent joy that comes out of nowhere, and you feel inspired and you feel like, yeah, this is what this all led to. All this hard work led to this feeling of accomplishment. That's exactly what they're talking about, this like sensory joy that happens, and that's why I be drawing. I just love it. I got to 70% of the creative act, and I do want to move on to perennial seller for a little bit before I go back to fiction. For this, I'm at 17%. I think I left off at test early, test often. At the range that I'm going, I feel like I will definitely hit my 28 nonfiction reads for the year because I literally only have one more book to go, right? And creative act, I'm already at 70%. I think I can finish that in like a week and a half. At this point, the main challenge is to reach 100 books. I'm at 95. I'm starting the book The Wife by Meg Wolitzer. It doesn't seem to be a long book at all, but it seems to be pretty impactful. Lots of, mixed reviews online about it. So I'm pretty curious to just see what this is like. Oh, so the typical time to read this is 3 hours, 56 minutes. There's 214 pages in this book. Basically, it's about a woman who's put her career on hold for her husband. Husband is very successful in his career. The Wife is a wise, sharp-eyed, compulsive, readable story about a woman forced to confront the sacrifices she's made in order to achieve the life she thought she wanted. But it's also an unusually candid look at the choices all men and women make for themselves in marriage, work, and life. With her skillfully storytelling and pitch-perfect observations, blah, 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 invites intriguing questions about the nature of partnership and the precarious position of an ambitious woman in a man's world. All right, I'm at 70% of Wayward. What is happening? Like, Altha, poor Altha. She's like going through trauma after trauma. And so is Violet. And literally so is Kate. All three women have no idea what's happening in terms of like magic and the crow, and also like how are these women witches? Is it because they know like how to use plants to make herbs, or we're not seeing it yet. So I'm not seeing it yet. Almost none of the magical aspect of it has been revealed other than like these women's ancestors had magic. But we don't know what magic that is yet. But the book is very intriguing. Like, it's keeping me on my toes and I'm getting through it so fast. All three women's stories are just so devastating. I'm just curious about like a lot of things pertaining to this book right now, so I'm just gonna continue reading. I will be back. I finished Wayward. Whoa, this book was so good. So basically, the crow is basically the main character because like, what the heck? All three women, they can like control animals. Basically animals will do, such as like birds, insects, any kind of animal really will do whatever these women want. If one of them wants like a man murdered, one of these animals will murder that man. Witches. It was a great book. Some of the pages were very, very dark. Overall, it was very good. Patriarchal trauma, and yes, there is like till the very end. And there's some sort of like justice as well. Damn, there's like a lot of really good quotes from this book. Let me like take a look at some of them. Basically all these women, Kate, Violet, and Altha, they're all so resilient. I am looking through some of the highlights. Ooh, I like this one. Fiction became a friend as well as a safe harbor, a cocoon to protect her from the outside world and its dangers. If you're a reader, I feel like you can probably relate to this as well. Oh, there's another one. The physician spoke with confidence. He was a man after all. He had no reason to believe he would not be believed. I don't know which timeline that was from, meaning like, I don't know if that was like Altha from 1600s or Violet from 1940s or Kate from 2019. Resonates with all of them. It's crazy. That makes 96 books so far, but overall 4 more books to reach 100. I'm still reading The Wife by Meg Wolitzer, I think. Wolitzer. Let me get my Kindle. That one I'm 72% done. Yeah, I wanted to read Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, so I want to finish the books I'm currently in the middle of right now and then probably pick up a new book soon. Maybe I'll pick it up like later today, but yeah, keep you updated. I finished The Wife by Meg Wolitzer last night and I finished it quick. This woman is someone who spent her entire life catering to her husband. She spent her whole life taking care of him and taking care of his career and putting hers in the back burner, while it's actually like she's the one who, you know, proofread and basically wrote all his novels, and she's never gotten credit. Instead, she is portrayed as the wife. Like he gets some kind of like book award or book prize. In the movie, it was like the Nobel Prize for literature. In the books, it was not that. It was something else. And the way he was like speaking about her, I felt the rage. I was like, I hate this man. And suddenly, like, I was feeling really insecure too. Putting yourself first is the most important thing in this world. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you put yourself first, you're able to take care of the others around you. And this is like another one of those books where you're not supposed to like the main character. You can like empathize with her and like you can feel bad for her and you can feel her pain. You can pity her and you can feel like disappointment towards like the character's actions. Whatever it is, this is one of those books. And that's all I have to say for this book. I am currently at 97 books for the year. 99, 100, so 3 more books to go. I think the next book I'm gonna read is Remarkably Bright Creatures. I actually started it earlier today and oh man, 20% into the book I was like, should I continue? Should I not? Like, I don't want to give up because I hear so many good things about this book. My friends rave about this and I've read really good reviews about it on Goodreads, so I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, I'm past that 20% mark and I'm glad I kept going. So I'm gonna update you on this book, and this is gonna be my 98th book. I also have one more nonfiction book to read. I saw these 2 books by the artist Russ. He is a rapper. There was this song, na 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 na. Let me play it. Oh yeah, it's Losing Control. I was obsessed with this song in 2018. Yeah, let me pause that. It's getting me in my feels again. He has 2 books that are out. I've also heard very good things about these books, so I'm gonna read those 2 books and I think I'll make it to 100 or even like 101. I think it'll be smart to read 101 books this year. I guess in our Hindu culture, you kind of add that extra 1, which means like abundance or more to come. Maybe I'll read 101 books. I'm gonna go read Remarkably Bright Creatures.
Jesus, fuck. Can you slow roll this shit? It's not my call. All I do is sign off on the transfers, then track deliveries like FedEx.
read Remarkably Bright Creatures in one day on Christmas Eve. I've had it on my list for some time and I just pulled the trigger. Like I just read it and it was amazing. Like I read it in one day. I wasn't enjoying it until like about 25% of my way through the book. The book is told from like 3 different perspectives. One is the octopus, another is like the 70-year-old woman, and another one is this 30-year-old man. And then there's like snippets of like a couple of other people's perspectives as well. I just can't believe I read a book about an octopus. Like, first of all, I just was not expecting it to be as good. I didn't realize how smart octopuses are. They have one central brain and then they have nerve clusters in their 8 tentacles. Apparently they can like solve mazes. They don't really have bones in their bodies. The one in the book didn't. They can like get through small little spots pretty easily. They can like squeeze through tiny openings. The octopus in the book did. They apparently have like great problem solving skills, good like social awareness as well. They can recognize like individual humans. The octopus in the book was like able to recognize which fingerprints belong to which human beings just by like seeing them once. The octopus in the book also like leaves its tank every single night to go like snack on the other fish in the aquarium. It was kind of funny how, you know, the perspective of the octopus was pretty nice, pretty funny. And he's kind of like a hoarder too. He takes coins or shiny things like rings, coins, ID cards, and he usually goes and hunts for them when the aquarium is closed for the night, in the middle of the night, and then he brings it back to his tank. He hides it like deep within the tank so the tank cleaners can't see and like figure out that he gets out in the middle of the night. And apparently, since they are like such social creatures, they're extremely playful. I wish I had an octopus. I don't think I've ever even seen one, like not in an aquarium. It was a really great book, and upon finishing that book, I'm at 97 books for the year. I also finished The Creative Act by Rick Rubin last night, and this book, it's a great coffee table book, but it also has like such great information. I really liked it. There was this like quote. The book starts off with this quote by Robert Henry. The object isn't to make art, it's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable. And isn't that such a great quote? Slay. To be in this wonderful state which makes art flow out of body, heart, soul. I usually have to kind of like sit down and write down all my thoughts on a notebook. So whatever I'm doing like in the moment, I'm able to do it without thinking about other things. Usually when I'm like planning out what I want to do, I just take a scrap of paper and a pencil and an eraser and I just like doodle like where I want each thing. When I do my reading journal especially, I doodle what I want to create, how I want my page to look, what I want on it, what colors I want to use. I use a lot of words in my art as well. When I get into the zone, I really don't want to like, I can't do anything else. If I have to go take a shower or eat, I get annoyed. So as an artist, we are like constantly perceiving, paying attention to details that aren't exactly obvious. Sometimes certain details stand out to artists, to creatives that don't really stand out to non-artists, non-creatives. And obviously different details stand out to different people, which makes art all that special. And as artists, we are all very sensitive in various ways. Basically, like many parts of this book kind of validated to me how we live in this world, like how I live in this world, how we seek and absorb inspiration from different things and different people by our own experiences. This book did a really good job explaining all that and just kind of validating all of that for me. There's literally so much more to this book, and I'm gonna do like a whole reading journal entry on it too. When I do the reading journal entry, I'm gonna add it to my Instagram. Follow me there. So that's 99 books so far. Also, I completed my goal of reading 28 nonfiction books for the year, which is amazing. And now I just want to read like one more book to reach that 100 book goal. I'm gonna read this book called It's All in Your Head by Russ. I've actually already started it, so I'm gonna continue it and maybe I'll read the book that comes after this as well. Yeah, I will update you soon. I finished my reading goal for the year. I finished 2 more books. I'm now at 101 books for 2024. Incredible. Round of applause to me. I'm so happy. I knew I could do it and I did it, and I'm going to take that energy into 2025. The last 2 books I read are both by Russ. They're called It's All in Your Head and It Was You All Along. They were short
They were very mindful. They were very, very to the point, and I love them. I think I need to get physical copies of those books too. I'm just gonna start reading off quotes from these books, all right? So this is number 1. There are 3 essential qualities required for turning your real life into your dream life: delusion, persistence, and gratitude. Delusion will give you faith when there is absolutely nothing in your present life that indicates you should believe. It is absolutely all in your head. Persistence will provide strength to keep going. Gratitude allows you to appreciate all that you have and the achievement of your goals, both small and large. What you think about, you bring about. Slay. All right, another quote. The reality is, if you love it, it won't feel like work. When you pursue your passion, the work you do will be a source of joy and fulfillment. The more you work, the more fulfilled. The more fulfilled, the better the work. Here, there's another one. Keep doing, keep making, keep pushing. It's all about output. Do it so you can do it again. Get in as many reps as possible. Repetition is the father of perfection. You have to simultaneously believe what you are doing is good and have the foresight to understand that even if it is not as good as you want, it will become greater through practice. There's this one quote, I think Russ says that his mom used to say to him, it's just moving with purpose. Whatever you're doing, do it with purpose. So it's move with a purpose. So those are some of like my favorite sentences from that first book. It's all in your head. Highly recommend you read that one and then you read the next one. The next one is It Was You All Along. That's the second book, and we hear a lot more about a time in his life where he was a little bit unmotivated, a little bit depressed, a little bit, just down in the dumps. He openly talked about that phase in his life. So a quote from that: having definite aim, no matter what area your life is in, is so important. Everyone needs a mountain to climb. Everyone needs a purpose in life, something that they're doing in every single moment of their life, because without that something, life can feel pretty meaningless. This is something that's very, obvious. You don't realize it until you hear it, from somebody else, from something else. Here's another quote. But something else more impactful happened. My discipline multiplied and showed up in other areas of my life. Just like negative habits multiply, so do positive ones. When you discipline one aspect of your life, disciplining another becomes easier. Discipline is the epitome of self-love and self-respect. Respect your body, respect your mind, respect your energy. Honor the gift of your health, life, and freedom. When you treat yourself with discipline, you're treating yourself with love. So these 2 books just felt like a gift. It was a great way to end 2024 and step into 2025. It's a couple of days into 2025 right now, and I feel like so happy. I feel bright. I feel inspired. I feel motivated. I feel rested. I feel like I can do anything in this world, and I feel like I want to do everything in this world. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.